Hi, I'm Dennis Phillips, and welcome to Everyday Reloading and Shooting. Welcome back. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to do something that I'm calling my powder shootout, in which I'll be comparing 6 of my favorite powders using a Hornady 52 grain boat tail hollow point bullet, and I'll be testing each of these doing a ladder run with velocities from 3,000 to 3,200 feet per second. In order from the slowest burning powder to the fastest burning powder, we'll be shooting CFE 223, Varget, H335, Accurate 2460, IMR 3031, and Accurate 2200. We will take these in order week by week, and we will post the results so you can see exactly which powders perform with these bullets. All right, so let's get on with it. Finally, Chapter 6 in our powder shootout, we'll be shooting Accurate 2200. This is the fastest burning of all the powders we have shot so far, and we'll be shooting charge weights of 21.3 to 23.1, again producing 3,000 to 3,200 feet per second in velocity. All right, this is part 6 of the powder shootout. This is the final part, and here we'll be shooting Accurate 2200 powder. This is the fastest of the various powders that we've shot, and we will be shooting from 21.3 to 23.1 grains of powder with velocities from 3,000 to 3,200, and we will see how these perform. As always, you're welcome to enjoy the music while I fast forward through my shooting, or you can skip forward to the results at the end. Shooting at 100 yards. All right, so this was kind of a mixed bag, but let's bring them in and take a look. All right, so here was my barrel fouling group that was shooting high and on center. So no adjustment was necessary. So we started out. This is our tightest group. It looks like that's going to be under an inch. And that was pretty well centered and shooting slightly to the left. Then as the charge weight increased, we begin to shoot more to the right. This one's kind of scattered vertically. This one is like I shot 2 separate groups. I was shooting a group here and a group here. Sometimes they would go up here, sometimes they would go up here. I have no idea what was going on with that. Here, we have a pretty tight group here with one flyer off to the side. And then for our last group here, it was shooting pretty much off to the right. But we will take these home and measure these with the Hornady ballistics app using the group analysis function. and we will see how these compare. I know that's going to be our tightest group right there, though. And again, these are shooting well at the lower charge weights, as with many of the others previously. So we will probably want to explore the lower range here, the lower range with the minimum being 2,900, but we might want to take a look at that just to see how that's going to perform. All right, so there we go. Let's take them home and see how we did. All right, so continuing on with our powder shootout, this is part 6, and we're shooting accurate 2200 powder. Okay, so here's an expanded view of the target here, so you can see all of the groups at once. As the charge weights increase, that barrel begins to torque, and it begins to shoot more to the right and more down. So you can see this average point of impact moving to the right and down on each target. So we've got charge weights here from 21.3 to 23.1, and I'll show you a close-up. We'll take these one by one, and I'll show you a close-up of each of these targets. And I'll also show you the expanded view from the Hornady group analysis. Okay, so target number 1, we're at 21.3 grains traveling at 3,000 feet per second. On this particular group, we had a really tight group right here at 0.74 inches. And this is with 10 shots. We're shooting a little bit, about a quarter of an inch to the left and almost 2 inches high at 1.78. But our average point of impact is right here. So with a group size of 0.74, we've got a mean radius of 0.29. And as I have said, anything in the 3s or lower, I would consider that to be really good shooting. So a radius, what happens here is this is your average point of impact. And what that app does is it measures the distance from there to each one of these shots, and then it averages that distance, and that gives you a mean radius, which is an average. And so here we've got a mean radius of 0.29 inches, which a radius is half a circle. So if you double that, that gives you 0.58 inches. So that would be your average group size on 10 shots at 0.58 inches. So 21.3 grains of accurate 2200 is an excellent load. At 21.8 grains, it starts to open up a little bit. It's shooting pretty much on center, but 2 inches high. We've got a extreme spread of 1.29 inches and a mean radius of 0.39, which gives you an average group size of 0.78. Not too shabby. Then at 22.2 grains, we're traveling at 3,100 feet per second. We're still shooting 0.2 of an inch to the left, and we're shooting 1.73 inches high. And we have an extreme spread of 1.46 and a mean radius of 0.49. So that gives you an average group size of 0.98. Moving on to 22.7 grains at 3,150 feet per second, we've got a really tight looking cluster here, but we have this flyer that threw our average group size off. Otherwise, that would have been under an inch right there. But that threw us off, so our extreme spread is 1.67, but our mean radius is 0.43 inches, which gives you an average group size of 0.86. At 23.1 grains, we're shooting a little bit further to the right. We're about a half inch to the right and still about an inch and a half high here. But our extreme spread is 1.44 inches, and our mean radius is 0.45, which that gives you an average group size of 0.90. The winner today goes to 21.3 grains at 3,000 feet per second. And we are going to go back and evaluate this at a lower charge weight. Since the lowest charge weight produced the best group, we want to see if there's anything on the other side of that, on the low side, that might group a little bit better. But in any event, 21.3 grains of accurate 2200 was our best group of the day, with an extreme spread of 0.74 and a mean radius of 0.29 inches. So if you want to try that load, I think you'll find that it probably works quite well. It may not work in your rifle, but it worked well in mine, and I wouldn't hesitate to give that a try. All right, so there we are. Those are my results. If you have any ideas, thoughts, or comments, I hope you will please leave those below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.